Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're talking about the one and only Kaspa currency. You know I am very, very big on this project. Even though many people aren't talking about it nowadays, I still think it is extremely undervalued. And I do believe that it will do very, very well over the next coming years, regardless if it peaks this cycle or if it takes, a couple more years for it to really shine in the spotlight, regardless of what truly happens. I know it will get there one day, sooner or later. So I feel very confident and safe investing my money into a project like Kaspa. Today, we're going to go over some news. We're going to go over some charts. And before we do that, there is a Trump summit coming up soon, which will probably be either a sell or buy the news event um, type scenario. So expect volatility over, you know, to happen when the event comes out. I believe it's supposed to be on the 7th. So on Friday, there may be a very, very big volatile day. It may be manipulation. So there's a good chance you might see either like minus 15% or plus 15% on that day. I would be surprised if nothing really happens. I do expect overall Trump to be elevating crypto, and regardless of what happens now, any shakeouts or any selling, I do believe it is going to be a shakeout and manipulation, because I do believe there's going to be a very, very big altcoin season ahead of us, regardless of what people believe, regardless if it's going to be in the timelines people think. Right, I do believe very, very big things are around the corner, and a coin like Kaspa will most definitely be, participating in that altcoin season. So with that being said, let's just jump right into this. So pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, we can see that they have released the testnet, right? So they released the testnet containing crescendo transition logic is published, right? See the link to GitHub below along the instruction to participate in testing. Kaspa is about to take a significant leap with the Crescendo hard fork transitioning from 1 to 10 blocks per second, starting with the testnet network. Okay, so very, very huge, right? Very, very huge. We know there's going to be a big update sometime in April, which is roughly a month to month and a half away, because that was pretty much the time they were saying is going to happen. Testnet 10 will undergo this shift approximately March 6th, right? 1830 UTC. I don't know which time zones UTC, to be honest. We invite everyone to participate in testing this transition by running a testnet 10 node following the instructions below. By running the testnet 10 and providing feedback, you help prepare for a smooth mainnet upgrade, right? Planned for pretty much the end of April, early May. Okay, so I lied. So roughly 2 months maximum. Roughly 2 months maximum should, this come out, which is great. You know what? I don't think we're going to be pumping massively anytime soon, like over the next month or two. So this is actually perfect, right? The timing is perfect. I believe in the summer to fall time is going to be where we will pump. I'm personally going to be cashing out during that time. And that includes a coin like Kaspa. So obviously I'll be letting people know, especially people in the Discord first and then on YouTube after. So we can see, if you go below here, if you go on this Twitter page, you go on this post, you can go over here. Now, if I do click this and I see everything, right? I have zero clue what this says. I don't have a single clue. Well, obviously I know certain things, but I don't have a single clue on how to actually operate this. I don't code. I don't do any of this. So I will not be personally back testing this for Kaspa. If you guys know how it operates and what to do, then be sure to, do it. Help Kaspa out. You might save them. You might be that person that saves them a couple days or weeks if something goes wrong. But then that, let's jump right into price. Before we do Kaspa's price, I just want to talk about Bitcoin very, very quickly. We are approaching certain levels where they may or may not be a sell-off, right, of roughly 93,500. We are currently creating higher lows, right? Low, higher low, and we have this high. If in an off chance we do not create a higher high, then we would create a lower high, which means we would have to be making a decision, right? Because the staircase has to go one way, either up or down, and it can't be having a higher low and a lower high at the same time. without it exploding somewhere, right? Without it exploding somewhere. Now, the only thing I am worried about slightly is that there is a $78,000 gap right here, which pretty much almost got all filled. Sometimes this is just enough, right? And sometimes TradingView is a little bit glitchy. So for all we know, this 78K gap could be filled. We had one at 85,000 right down here, which is why, when Bitcoin was at 95,000, it dropped all the way back in the next 2 days because it had to fill this massive, massive gap. But now that that's out the way, we are recovering. So we will be monitoring Bitcoin because it does play a factor. But as we know, there's also the summit coming up on Friday, which may or may not be super manipulated in terms of price action. So be ready for that as well. When we look at Kaspa's weekly, right, nothing suggests reversal signs just yet, right? We dropped below here, we closed at 8.5 cents, and then we closed back at almost 11 cents. So we retested this, and this candle was pretty much going to be the indicator of if we're going to go higher or not. I thought we would go higher, right? I did not expect things to turn out the way they did, but this is why you wait for confirmation. We closed below, and then we started to sell off even more. We do have big, massive support in a weekly order block at pretty much 5 cents. So if Kaspa were to go down and there would be, bearish news with Bitcoin or whatever happens over the next little couple days, few short weeks, then Kaspa can very well retest off this 5 cent area to 4.5 cents, which I would be buying personally a big bag of Kaspa because I believe worst case scenario, this altcoin season is that we'd go up somewhere back to 19 cents, which would be, 4.25 times my money roughly. So for a worst case scenario, I'm okay with that. If we look at the monthly, right, we broke through. We have to get above the 10.5 to 11 cent area. We have to start closing above it too. Price going above it is one thing. Price closing above it is completely different, right? Multiple times, anywhere on the charts, we have seen, something like Kaspa price drop quickly down to 7.5 cents. But guess what? It closed here and then it went continued and it went higher and higher, right? So it really does matter where the closings will happen. Overall, I am super optimistic when it comes to Kaspa. I personally don't mind things going down a little bit more. We are also on this 3-month candle, which is, quarterly candle. We do have some news coming up pretty much in a week or so, roughly 10 days in terms of rate cuts. They are expected to be cut. So if that is going to be the case, then I do expect positive news for, something like a coin like Kaspa and crypto, generally speaking. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, I do expect things to be kind of slow over March or a recovery at best. I don't think we'll be having a nice big green candle, back over 11 cents in March because, like I said, we are also finishing the 3-month candle, and January and February have been bearish, right? There's no denying that January and February have been bearish. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys did enjoy, and remember, trade smart. Stay safe, keep your mental health in check, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.